We have Anish Gupta on board with us. He is All India Rank 17, Clat 2021. Anish was our test series students. Otherwise, he prepared on self basis. That means he did self study for the Clat preparation for 2 years, and then he joined our test series as well. And now he would like to communicate with all of you, have an interaction with all of you to guide you on certain points, like how to prepare for Clat 2022. The time frame now is left is 4 months. So how do you control your anxiety? What should be your mode of preparation now? What mock strategy should you take? What strategy? What are the learnings from the mocks to be taken? Then again, he would be talking about some sources where to read from. So everything as a student, you have doubts, you have any questions in your mind. I believe that Anish would help you in any case, in the way he can, right? So I would say Anish to now continue. Anish, can we start?
Yeah, sure, sir. Thank you.
Right.
Thank you so much for having me here.
Okay, most welcome, dear. Okay, so let's start. Anish, please start. Yeah.
Yeah. Should I share my screen?
Yeah, you can.
Okay. Is my screen visible, sir?
Yes, it is. You may start now.
Okay, sir. So hello guys, welcome to ClatPrep webinar. I'm Anish Gupta and I'll be talking about strategy for the last 4 months that you should follow. कि अगर तुमने CLAT क्लियर करना है तो ये एक तरीका है जो तुम फॉलो कर सकते हो to and I would try my best to help you out all people to clear CLAT and I would give my best. If you have any doubts or questions you want to ask me, you can use the chat option or yeah, you can use the chat option. Or if you want to say something, you can tell me in chat. I'll ask you to I'll ask the people to unmute you. So to begin with, yeah, so this is what sir was talking about, that now we are in January already. January is about to end and our exam is in May. So roughly speaking, you just have 4 months. You have 4 months to decide your destiny, which college you will be getting and what will be your further course of action after the CLAT. So first of all, you need to stop thinking कि 4 महीने रह गए तो मैं करूं क्या, करूं या ना करूं. I'm only left with 4 months, syllabus not completed. First of all, बात ये कि CLAT का कोई syllabus ही नहीं है. Whatever you read is your syllabus. There is no destined syllabus कि यही आएगा ये नहीं आएगा. You can't skip anything, you can't do anything. So first of all, stop thinking कि मेरा syllabus complete नहीं हुआ, 4 महीने रह गए, मैंने syllabus complete करना है, क्योंकि ऐसा syllabus नहीं है. So on this point only, I would like to give you my personal like what I went through during my CLAT prep. So I started my CLAT preparation immediately after 10th class. So, but what I did was I did not do anything except like what I did was read newspaper, read novels and do self-study. I did not do anything else. मैंने एक mock दिया. This is true and this is exactly true. मैं कुछ झूठ नहीं बोल रहा. I only gave one mock in my entire 1.5 years of prep. और वो mock कौन सा था? I gave a dummy attempt of CLAT in my 11th class. So that was my one and only mock that I gave in my 1.5 years of preparation. And like you'll be surprised to know that I got only 50 marks in CLAT 2020. That was my dummy attempt which I gave in when I was in class 11. I got a rank of 7700 and a score of 50, something around 50. So that was around October 2020. So then I realized that ये तो मैं कुछ भी कर नहीं रहा, 1.5 years हो गए, फिर भी सिर्फ मेरे 50 marks आए CLAT में, तो मैं करूं क्या? So then I realized that I have to do something, and जब तक मुझे realization हुआ, the CLAT 2021 exam was only 6 months ahead of me. So then I started preparing seriously कि मुझे अब तो करना है. तो अगर मैं कर सकता हूँ 4 months, 6 महीने में मैं कर सकता हूँ, तो तुम क्यों नहीं कर सकते? I gave only one mock in 1.5 years, and then I gave 60 mocks in my next 6 months. और उन 60 में से I gave 45 mocks in my last 45 days. So every day I gave a mock even before the day of CLAT. CLAT 2020, I believe, was on 23rd July. 2021 was on 23rd July. I gave a mock on 22nd July as well. क्योंकि वो practice थी मेरी कि I have to give one mock every day from 2 to 4. So stop feeling anxious about things. Stop feeling depressed that only 4 months are left. You can do well. And I have seen people who have cleared. And I'm the example, I'm the perfect prototype sitting right in front of you who has cleared CLAT with 6 months of serious preparation. So what I would like to take...
Anish, sorry to interrupt you in between.
Yes, sir.
Look, what he said is that though he started preparing for CLAT right after 10th, but then he became serious just 6 months before the CLAT exam. So what I mean to say, what I want to say here is that you are never too late to start. If you feel that it is the right time, start now. You are not late, but at least 4 months of preparation, be very serious about it. Attempt all the mocks. Like he said that he attempted only one mock in the first 1.5 years, but then 60 mocks in the last 6 months. That means on an average, 10 mocks per month. Probably मेरे ख्याल से इसका जो frequency है वो last में जाके और बढ़ गया होगा, है ना,
Yes.
right? So you people now you have 4 months, at least target 50 mocks. जितने मॉक्स ऑलरेडी हो चुके हैं उनके रिवीजन करो, नए मॉक्स को दो, जो आने वाले मॉक्स है उसको करो, but then be thorough with the mocks. This is very very important, right?
Yes,
Okay,
sir.
thank you, Anish.
Right. Elaborating on that point, there is no right time. This time tum start karo, the time which you start is the right time. So stop thinking that I wasted my entire, like, what time I had for preparation. The time you start is the right time. So whenever you start is your right time, and you have to do now that you just have 4 months, you have to do what you have to do. So stop thinking that you don't have time. So taking you through our topics of discussion in this webinar, I'll be talking about the sources which I refer to, the routine which one serious aspirant must follow, the importance of mock tests, the common problems faced by every aspirant, and overcoming the problems. So I would like to give you a caveat that I'm not a very expert faculty advisor here. I'm just a student who cleared CLAT. So the information I would give is just from my personal perspective and my personal experience. So it's up to you what you want to take from my experience and my advice. Just don't follow it blindly. So for GK, GK was my favorite subject for CLAT during CLAT preparation. I used to really enjoy studying GK and reading what is happening around me. So the most important GK material you have to refer to is the coaching material, the material provided by the coaching. Secondly, I believe that going through Drishti IAS, the editorial, the analysis the Drishti IAS or Next IAS provides, I believe it is a very important and integral part of the CLAT preparation, because Drishti IAS jitna comprehensive, detailed analysis, I don't think any other organization does. So if you want to go into depth of a certain topic, you need to refer to the Drishti IAS notes. Secondly, reading the Hindu and Indian Express is indispensable for any CLAT aspirant. You have to read the Hindu or the Indian Express daily. So if you ask me one single important thing that helped me crack CLAT, it was reading newspaper. अगर कोई मेरे से पूछता है कि तुमने कैसे CLAT क्रैक किया, मैं बोलता हूँ मैंने न्यूज़पेपर पढ़ा. I used to love reading newspapers. I used to daily read the Hindu and the Indian Express, and I've been following this habit even till now. It's just that I don't pay for my newspaper, NLS does. But you have to continue reading newspaper every day, and it should be your hobby that you have to read newspaper every day. Besides from the coaching material, you can refer to any GK compendium that is easily available online. You don't need to hassle around much, but you can refer to only these 4 sources. So one thing you need to remember is that in the last 4 months, you need to focus on quality and not the quantity. तुम्हें ये नहीं सोचना ये भी कर लूं, ये भी कर लूं, ये नहीं करना ये भी कर लूं. You have to think अगर ये करना है तो इसको अच्छे से करना है. You need to focus on the quality and not the quantity, because in CLAT what matters is your in-depth analysis and in-depth understanding of a certain topic. तो हमने ये बात कर ली कि which sources you need to refer to, but how do you need to prepare for GK? And the thing that you can see in the star-shaped box here. So this was my strategy to prepare for GK. Like I used to go through the newspaper every day. So I used to identify a relevant topic. So determining what a relevant topic is very crucial for you. So what a relevant topic for me was any news which appeared in the Hindu or the Indian Express for consecutively 2 to 3 days. That would become a relevant topic for me, because I don't think that within a span of CLAT test only 35 questions for GK. So this was my strategy, that it will not ask you a question that is not relevant and out of which 5 questions cannot be made. So I believe that a relevant topic is one that consecutively appears in the newspaper. So one best example could be the Suez Canal topic. So it appeared in newspaper for, I believe, almost an entire month. So that became a relevant topic for me. Then the second part creeps in, that you have to do a thorough research on that topic. I used to go on Drishti IAS, used to watch coaching the coaching videos and the YouTube videos available online. So that is the best part of studying GK, that you get a lot of references and lot of material online available that is available for free. So you identify a topic, like I would say a topic relevant for you would be like Israel-Palestine, taking the example of Israel-Palestine. You know that it is a relevant topic even for CLAT 2022. You take that topic, you search the Drishti IS Israel Palestine, you go through it, then you go to Wikipedia, then you go to any other website which has a detailed analysis of Israel Palestine, and that becomes your part of the research what you do for GK. And then the most important part is testing your research. You know that you have done your research on GK and you know the particular topic, and you know you believe that you know everything about the topic, but unless you test them by giving mocks, there will be still loopholes in your research, there will be still shortcomings in your research, and that you could identify only by giving mocks. So the importance of mocks here is great, really great. The second part is English. So English is, I believe that English is the main game changer in CLAT 2020 CLAT, because it is the only thing that the CLAT tests. It tests your English, your understanding of English, how good you can read in English, how easily you can comprehend English. So improving your English, improving your reading speeds become really important. For that, I believe that same material can be referred to for as GK. Like the important thing is the coaching material. The material provided by the coaching becomes very important for English as well. Secondly, the newspaper editorials. The emphasis on newspaper editorials. I bold the newspaper editorials thing. So it is very important that you go through the newspaper editorials every day. You don't need to read the news pertaining to rape, murder, theft, etc. What you need to go through is spend a little bit extra time on going through the newspaper editorials, understanding what the author means. You need to step into the you need to step into the shoes of the author who is writing the editorial, but you need to examine what the editorial wants to say, what the author wants to convey to you, and if you are understanding it correctly or not. Thirdly, this is what my personal experience was, that Merriam-Webster or the vocabulary.com online website provides a host of online quizzes pertaining to difficult words. So if a lot of difficult words are used in comprehensions a lot of time, so if you don't know the meaning of a particular word, you'll get stuck in the paper that what does this mean, and you'll start thinking on the meaning of this word rather than focusing on your paper. So if you know the meaning of important words and important difficult high frequency words, this will definitely give you an edge in the paper. So lastly, reading books and novels. This is also very important for CLAT, but right now that you have only 4 months left, I'll not suggest reading books and novels because it will be considered little more time waste. But you can, one thing for English is going through newspaper editorials every day. If you read The Hindu, it's fine. Just go through the editorials of the Indian Express as well. So I'll check the chat box once. One person is asking me, how much time did you take to read newspaper? So it is also a very subjective question. When I started reading newspaper, it took me around 90 minutes. That is 1.5 hours to read newspaper. But the day before CLAT, when I read, it took me hardly 25 minutes, because it is the learning curve that takes place. That you learn what you have to read. You start focusing on things. Your eye immediately goes to the point which is very important for you and which is relevant for you. You don't need to go through the entire newspaper. I believe you don't need to go through the sports section that much and the politics section that much. The front page is very important, the national news is very important, and the editorial pages are very important. So ideal time, I would say anything between 40 to 45 minutes now in January would be good. You'll not consider that a time waste. 40 to 45 minutes on newspaper. Next question is that I do GK from GK Today and Affairs Cloud. So should I change to Drishti IS? No, that's what I'm saying. This is my personal experience that I went through Drishti IS. If you are comfortable doing GK from GK Today or Affairs Cloud, that's perfectly fine. You just have to gain knowledge. That knowledge can be from X place or Y place. It's just that you have to gain knowledge. Drishti IS is recommended because the quality of Drishti IS is above par and better as compared to other online compendiums available. Bhaiya, what do you do with distraction like games and all? So you need to stop thinking games as a distraction. So first of all, like I went to, in my CLAT preparation journey, I went to the gym, I played guitar, I played PUBG. So I never considered these three things as my distraction. One thing you need to know, that CLAT preparation is not like IIT or NEET preparation, in which you have to isolate yourself from the entire world. CLAT preparation is more of interacting with people and understanding the mindset of the people surrounding you. So if you think that games is a distraction, so you can limit your time that you spend on games, but games can never be a distraction. Because I used to play PUBG when I got after my mock test. I used to sit for 1 hour to play PUBG, to play guitar, and to go to the gym. So this was never a distraction. This was never a distraction for me, because this used to give peace to my mind. Like after 10 hours of continuously studying, if I spend 1 hour on games or going to the gym, I don't think it is a distraction or a time waste. This was a part of my CLAT prep journey. So stop thinking that games are a distraction. How can I improve my
No,
vocab? Yes, sir.
Anish, sorry. Like what Anish wants to say is that you don't have to get distracted by anything, but that doesn't mean that you know, keep on playing continuously or you keep on watching the web series and all. What I means to say is that when entire day you have been studying, you need to give some time to yourself. Now that time can be, if you like walking, go for a walk. If you like listening to music, listen to music. If you like playing a game, play, but not more than an hour in a day. Everyone, make sure कि आप इस चीज को ये नहीं कर रहे कि चलो आप बोर हो गए खेलने लग जाते हैं, वो डिस्ट्रैक्शन बनेगा. नाउ एंड देन ब्रेकिंग द मोमेंटम और फिर बीच में खेलना नहीं. आप 1 घंटे अपने आप को दो बिल्कुल, उसके बाद फिर आप स्टडीज आर इम्पोर्टेंट, है ना.
Yeah,
अनिश,
right.
व्हाट आई वुड रिकमेंड इज दैट वी कैन एंटरटेन द क्वेश्चंस एट द लास्ट. आप
Sure,
एक बार
sure.
अपना ये हाँ पूरे पॉइंट्स कवर कर लेते हैं अपन, है ना.
Yeah. Nice.
Okay,
Okay.
okay.
So the next section is critical reasoning. I believe that the section of critical reasoning and English overlaps each other to a great extent. So if you are good in English, you will necessarily be good in critical reasoning. So I have copied directly from English the points here: newspaper editorials, coaching material. Two more things here. Critical reasoning becomes very important is going through Khan Academy and GMAT Club Forum. I personally haven't been through GMAT Club Forum, but most of my batchmates in NLS have studied from GMAT Club Forum. So I believe that GMAT would be a good source for critical reasoning. But Khan Academy, yes, Khan Academy, the importance of Khan Academy cannot be overemphasized. It is really important that you go through Khan Academy, because the level of critical reasoning and English Khan Academy tests is really very high. It tests the level of English that is used in US or UK and United Kingdom. So if you like scored 3 in Khan Academy mocks, you can easily score above 4, like 4 or 5 in Indian mocks in the mocks provided by the coaching. So I believe Khan Academy is a really great source for critical reasoning. So yeah, the star shape, the pro tip mentioned for critical reasoning is develop a habit of thinking the way examiner is thinking. You should not fall into the trap. Like there will always be 2 options in critical reasoning that confuse you. So out of the 2 options, one would be correct. So what you have to think at that moment is what the examiner would be thinking while he prepared that question. So the second option would be to confuse you. So if you fall into that trap, you'll definitely get it wrong. But when you start thinking that what the examiner was thinking when he prepared that question, you'll definitely get it right, because you'll be following the same mindset as that of the creator of the question. So you need to put yourself into the shoes of the examiner while answering the questions. Secondly is the legal reasoning. Legal reasoning is the make or break section of CLAT. So here, one thing that most people, like I have heard a lot of people say that you should focus only on current legal knowledge. Like you should go through articles on live law, bar and bench. But I completely disagree with that, because unless you know specific substantive topics like criminal law, tortious law, contract law, and constitution, you will not understand what goes on in the articles written in a live law or bar bench. So unless you know the core legal knowledge, which comprises of these 3 topics I've mentioned here, you cannot go through the current legal knowledge. So here the material provided by the coaching comes into play. I have gone through the material provided by ClatPrep. So it's really extensive and exhaustive in the sense that it provides a whole host of material which one needs to cover to gain an edge in these 3 spheres of law, that is criminal law, tort law, and contract law. So you need to be aware of what what voluntary non-fit injuria is, what defamation is. So I've seen people who for CLAT 2021 during my time only went through current legal knowledge. But the topic, I have the CLAT 2021 paper here. So the topic was directly from voluntary non-fit injuria. And the question was directly from the exception of voluntary non-fit injuria. So when you don't know what voluntary non-fit injuria is, you'll definitely not know what the exception to voluntary non-fit injuria is. So I believe that the core legal knowledge here and the knowledge and your knowledge in the core legal subjects plays an important role in cracking legal reasoning. I understand that the topics will be that the articles the CLAT will test will mostly be from the current legal knowledge from bar and bench live law, but the questions will be mostly on facts principle basis only. Only the pattern has been changed, that the questions will be longer, it will be passage based, but honge wo bhi facts and principle based. So for this, one of my friends suggested this during my CLAT prep, that you should go through AILET previous year papers, because AILET previous year papers may, the only difference between AILET and CLAT legal reasoning is कि इसमें passage दिया होगा about talking about the principle, and then facts will be in question. But AILET में क्या होता है, facts and principle both will be in the question. So it hardly makes a difference when you know the passage is about defamation, or when the principle, or only when the principle is given as defamation in AILET paper. So one thing very important to clear CLAT is going through AILET previous year papers dealing with the legal reasoning section, because AILET ने ऐसे क्वेश्चंस भी पूछे हैं जो अभी हमें कॉलेज में पूछे जा रहे हैं. Only the name has been changed. Some complex cases that we are studying today has been already asked by AILET in the past years. Only the name has been changed. So if you want to gain an edge in legal reasoning section, the going through previous year AILET papers becomes very important. Now we come to the last section, that is mathematics. So mathematics is one of the section which a lot of people have a fear of. So I've listed here topic list which I went through. I only went through these 6 topics in mathematics, and I scored fairly well. I scored around 8 to 9 out of 15 in CLAT 2021 in the mathematics section. So basically the topics include percentage, ratio proportion, time, speed, distance, probability, profit loss, geometry, and mensuration. So I believe that the topics like the major topics I mentioned, there should be a topic out of which 5 questions can be easily crafted. So these are the topics. Like percentage would include a simple interest, compound interest. Ratio proportion will include mixture and allegation. So like the question here was asked based on ages. I've not mentioned ages here, but the question prima facie conspicuously it appeared that the question is on age, but the question was from ratio and proportion and percentage only. So if you know percentage and ratio proportion thoroughly, you'll be able to clear most of the questions that would be asked in CLAT, because it is very elementary. What CLAT asks you is not very high level maths. It is only very elementary maths. So if you go through these 6 topics thoroughly and you know every nitty gritty of these topics, I believe that you can definitely score above 8 to 9, and that is considered a good score in mathematics. Now I come to the next part of the webinar, that is the routine. What is a routine? So this is very subjective. It is a person specific routine. If I tell you my routine, you'll not be able to follow it, or you'll be able to perform it better than me. So I should, instead of sharing my routine, I should tell you that you need to choose the routine that fits best for you. If you are well off studying at night, you do better late night study, you'll be better off studying at late night. But I was an early morning person, so I used to wake up at 5, study, then sleep again, then study. So this was my routine. That may not suit you. So having a routine creates the difference between a student who is scoring 90 plus now and a student still stuck in 70s and 80s. So if you feel that your mock scores are not increasing abhi, just focus on creating a routine and sticking to your routine. So if you don't feel the difference, then the problem lies somewhere else. But if you think a little that your routine may play a greater role in your mock test results, you should start forming a routine and sticking to it. So this is also a very vague question. How many hours should I study? So I always disregard this question as very trivial. So counting your hours of study is a waste of time. So what matters is your efficiency. I was a kind of person who used to do a thing in 2 hours, which my batchmates, which my friends used to do in 6 hours. So all that matters is is your efficiency. If I tell you to read newspaper in 50 minutes, but your efficiency is such that you are better off in reading the newspaper only in 20 minutes. So why would I tell you to read in 50 minutes when you can utilize the rest 30 minutes somewhere else? So stop thinking the hours of study you put in. Stop feeling satisfied that I've studied 10 hours today, but in reality you have done nothing. Last is the importance of setting targets. So this is connected to my previous point that you should stop thinking about the hours. What you need to do is you need to start creating targets. You need to target that, like, for example, I will do 30 questions of maths in a day today. So if you should not stop, even if it takes you 3 hours, 4 hours, 5 hours, even if you're up till 3 or 4 a.m., you have to complete that target. You will not go back on that kal kar lunga procrastination. Stop that. Instead of counting the hours you put in, count the targets that you have completed in a day. And the importance of setting targets cannot be overemphasized. Lastly, mock tests. So what is a good score in mocks? So I don't believe that there's a good score in mocks. What matters is your rank. So like in Clat 2020, the NLS cutoff was around 95, but similarly in Clat 2021, even a person scoring 105 was not sure if he'll get into NLS or not. So considering your mock scores is, I believe that ज़्यादा खुश भी नहीं होना चाहिए mock score से, ज़्यादा दुखी भी नहीं होना चाहिए. If you are scoring around 100, you should be happy that you are scoring, but you need to constantly improve on that. Even if you are scoring 60 right now, you need not be sad, but you need to work on the areas where you are lagging. I'll share with you a mock analysis sheet. So coming to the importance of analyzing mocks. Analyzing mocks are one of the most integral part of your CLAT preparation journey. If you do not analyze mocks, the mock you gave 2 or 3 days back would be useless. You'll forget everything that you thought on that day while giving the mock if you will not analyze the mock. So talking about my strategy of analyzing mocks. So I used to say, like, I used to give a mock every day from 2 to 4. Then I used to sleep for an hour, like do all sort of things. Then I used to sit back again at 6 p.m. and I used to start analyzing the mock that I recently gave. So starting me, I used to note down the mistakes in, like, I had maintained a spreadsheet that I'll be sharing with you. So in that, I used to write my score, my rank, my negative marking, and my number of attempts for every section. So this continued for my entire 60 mocks. So that after every 3 to 4 mocks, I used to sit down analyzing my spreadsheet only that I created for analyzing mocks. So I used to see that I'm scoring less in GK, but I'm scoring well in critical reasoning. So my next course of action for the next 3 days would be focus more on GK and less on critical reasoning, because I need to bring the level of my level of GK to match the level of critical reasoning I'm scoring. So that is the importance of mock tests. Analyzing mocks will help you recognize the sections where you are lagging, the points you are not remembering while giving the mock test. So what mock test helps you is it prevents you from committing the same mistakes again and again. So if you go through one mock today and you understand that this is the point where I made a mistake, it's very natural that you will not make the same mistake again in the next mock, because you know that in the previous mock I made the same mistake. So coming to the next point, that is the sequence of sections. This is also very subjective, that talking about which sequence to attempt first and which sequence to attempt at last. I'll tell you my sequence of attempting the paper. I used to start with English, then GK, then legal, critical reasoning, and maths. My one point of suggestion would be that you should like make it a point to attempt maths at last, because sometimes CLAT consortium don't have a good perspective towards maths, and most of the times questions are wrong. So if you do maths in the beginning, it is a possibility that you may go on spending a lot of time which you could utilize at some other section in completing maths section. So this is my piece of advice for you, that math section you should try attempting math section at last, and after the English section you should give yourself a break. So this break could be achieved by attempting the GK section, because GK section hardly takes 7 to 8 minutes and hardly and hardly requires you to think too much. If you know the answer, you know the answer. If you don't know, you can skip to the next part. So this is why you need to attempt GK section before legal reasoning. It gives your mind a break, and after the English section. So the next point is maintaining a spreadsheet of past scores, not repeating the same mistakes. And remember one thing, you're not preparing for the mock test, you're preparing for CLAT by giving mocks. So stop thinking about the scores that you have achieved in mocks. Just take it as another additional material that you have to go through before appearing for CLAT. Just take, if you scored for example, if you scored just 50 in your mock that you gave today, stop thinking about it. Stop thinking about it. Go through the mock again. Go through the GK section. Go through the legal reasoning section. Identify the topics where you lagged, where you got your questions wrong, and start researching on the topic. Stop thinking that is mock mein mere achhe nahi hai and I'll do the same in CLAT, because mocks are not CLAT and CLAT is not mock. So stop thinking and stop equating your CLAT mock results with CLAT mock results with the actual exam. So this is my personal experience that I never scored above 100 in my mock test. I never scored above 100, but in the CLAT actual exam, I scored 111. So this is what happens on the CLAT day. What matters is your mindset on the day of the exam and not what you have scored in your past mock test.
Look, I would like to add on something what Anish said, Abhi. Whatever sequence of sections he's saying is that it cannot be the same for everyone. It is subjective, like he said, because someone whose forte is legal might start with legal. Someone whose forte is English might start with English. But one right point, which he said and which the faculties here also keep on saying, is that you need to give a break between those sections which includes exhaustive reading. So if you take on English, legal and critical reasoning together, it is very, very evident that your mind would get exhausted at the end of the mocks. And by the time you come for the second last or last section of the mock, you won't be able to maintain that accuracy, that focus, and wherein your tendency of making mistakes will become high. So that is why rightly he said that give a break in between legal and English, probably by inserting GK in between, or someone whose maths is good may insert maths in between. जरूरी नहीं है कि मैथ्स बिल्कुल लास्ट में ही करना, अगर किसी का मैथ्स स्ट्रांग है तो मैथ्स पहले कर सकता है, लेकिन हाँ एग्जॉस्टिव रीडिंग सेक्शंस के बीच में जरूरी है कि आपको ब्रेक देना है. And again, at the same time, like he said that analyzing the mocks is very, very important. So you need to consider your mocks as your study materials only. ये भी faculties आपको क्लास में बाबा बोलती है कि mocks को study materials की तरह लो. इनफैक्ट आप previous mocks को sectional test में convert करके sectional test दे सकते हो ताकि वो revision भी हो जाएगा और एक तरीके से आप अपने study material को revise कर रहे हो. Right? चलो, over to you, Anish.
Sir, just a minute. I'll share the sheet with them.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Oh shit. Can you just confirm in the chat option if you have received the sheet? Yeah, okay. Just go through it once while I'm speaking here. And if you have any doubt, just ask me straight away.
Anish, what you can do is that you can share this sheet on the screen as well.
Okay, okay, sure.
And then let's discuss about it. Huh?
Yeah. Yes, sir. Is the screen visible?
Yeah, yeah.
Yes, so this was the spreadsheet that I maintained during my ClatPrep journey. So here is the number of mocks that you appear for. You need to, after every mock, just sit down for 15 minutes. It will hardly take 15 minutes. Just tabulate your scores here. Write down your rank, write down your score, rank, the number of attempts you made, and the number of negative marking you got, and each section wise result. So if you feel that your English is good, but while you are lacking in your legal reasoning, so what you can do after you analyze your 3 to 4 scores of 3 to 4 mocks, you can sit down, analyze this spreadsheet only, that I have been getting around 25 in English while I am getting quite less in legal reasoning. So you need to focus, or you need to divert your mind towards legal aptitude more for the rest of the week, because you can't rely on English only to lift up your marks. Ultimately, it's the legal reasoning section that is the make or break section for CLAT. So one thing sir suggested me here was you can write after every mock, you can write here, you can add a section, improve topics to be improved upon. So one section you can write like here, you can add topics to be improved upon. So if the legal reasoning section asks you something about, like for example, say theft, but you have got 3 questions wrong, so just write here theft. So you'll remember after giving the mock or after analyzing it that you need to focus more on the principles of theft, and you need to go through passages talking about theft. So this would be another thing that could be added here. Yeah, so this was all for the Clat mock analyzing part. I'll go to my PPT. Yes, so next thing is attempts versus accuracy. I've seen people asking me how much should I attempt, what should be the ideal accuracy, and is there a link between attempt and accuracy? So I'd like to tell you that there are 2 approaches. One is the attempt centric, one is the accuracy centric. So if you know that you can attempt more, but your accuracy is very less, your accuracy is less than 90%, your accuracy is 85%, so you need to go for more attempts. But if you know that your accuracy is 90 to 95%, you can settle with less attempts also. So this is my personal example. I attempted 147 questions in Clat 2021. I got a score of 111, but a friend from my same state, from Punjab, so he attempted only 130 questions, still scored 3 marks more than me. So there was a difference between 17 questions between both of us. But because his accuracy was greater than mine, his accuracy was almost 90%. Mine accuracy was less than 85%. So he still managed to score more than me, even though I attempted 17 questions more than him. So there are 2 approaches which you can focus on. One is the attempt centric, one is the accuracy. If you know that your reading speed is good, but while your accuracy is less, you can go for attempting more questions. Because see, if you get the question wrong, it will cost you 0.25. But if you get it right, it will get you an increment of 1. So you need to get 4 questions wrong and 1 question right to manage everything, to manage it out. So I believe that what worked for me was the attempt centric approach, because I went on to attempt 147 questions in the exam, and that proved to be fruitful. So this was, you need to find what suits you the best, the attempt centric approach or the accuracy centric approach. One pro tip is you need to spend, I've seen people spending around 4 to 5 hours on Telegram talking about ClatPrep, what we need to do, how much are you scoring in mocks. Stop thinking about all such stuff and stop spending less time on Telegram. It's very toxic. This is my personal experience. Stop going on Telegram a lot. Just focus on the topics, like what I've seen the ClatPrep Telegram channel also. Just go through the list of topics it provides every day for the Indian Express and Hindu articles. Just go through that and stop talking on random Telegram groups and focus more on studying. This is my last slide. Enjoy the process. Stop thinking as a burden that you have to prepare for Clat. It's only 4 months left. You are not doing anything. The syllabus is not completed. Just enjoy the process, because you are going to miss your ClatPrep journey. This is the same. I vividly remember my days when I used to wake up. I used to study because I used to study. I used to enjoy studying for Clat, that it became a part of my daily routine. I never used to feel that Clat is a burden, that studying for Clat is a burden, that I need to crack Clat. I never thought of that. And if you thought of that, whenever you are feeling depressed or anxious, just talk to your parents, because talking to someone is the best way to alleviate your concerns. I remember that when I used to score less in mocks, I used to ask my mom कि हो भी जाएगा clear, and she used to say अगर अभी भी नहीं clear होएगा तो मुझे नहीं लगता कैसे clear होगा. तो मतलब the faith your parents show in yourselves, in you, the trust they show in you is really helpful in taking you out through your concerns and alleviating your anxiety and the depression, the feelings of depression that you may go through, because every aspirant goes through such feelings. This is not exclusive to you. You are not the only one who is burdened, who is distressed, who is tired. Every aspirant is distraught. Every person of the 60,000 who would be appearing for Clat 22 would be depressed, who would be anxious of what his score would be. Nobody is sure to get into NLS, but if you enjoy the process of going into NLS, if you enjoy what you are doing before getting into NLS, you'll definitely go into NLS also. Yeah. So this was all from my side. Now I'll go to the questions.
All right. Thank you, Anish, for sharing such a great PPT and sharing your insights with the students. Now, all the questions are most welcome. Any student has any questions regarding the preparation tips, regarding mock analysis, or any other questions you have in your mind, random any questions, you may ask him. And what we will do is that we'll suggest, okay, I'll allow you to unmute. Yes, Manya, you can unmute.
One thing, sir, one thing before taking the questions is a very good question. How did you manage your school along with ClatPrep? So preparing for Clat. So this is a very great question. I forgot to include this. So I believe that nobody asks you, nobody in NLS knows about my class 12th result, even though I scored good. Nobody knows what my score in class 12 was. So my piece of advice would be, you need to devote your 70% of the time towards preparing for Clat, and the rest 30 can go for your class 12, because because Clat requires only 45% of you to appear for Clat. Yeah, so 70%, 70 to 80%, I'll rather say 80% of your time should go towards Clat prep, and the rest 20% could go towards class 12. So one thing more, I could clear Clat because my board exams got cancelled. The time which I diverted from my board exams towards Clat was really helpful. So if you stop thinking, if you consider less, think less about your board exams and more about Clat prep, that would be really great, because nobody asks you class 12 marks, and it doesn't even matter whatever you score. Even if you score 70% in your class 12, but you get a good rank, you get a rank below 70 in Clat, nobody will ask you what did you score in class 12. So yeah, so person is asking me my percentage also. So in 10th my percentage was 97, and in 12th it was 98. Yeah, nobody knows in NLS my percentage. Yeah,
he is an NLSIU Bangalore alumni now. That is what it matters now, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Next question, please.
Sir, someone wanted to speak, no?
Manya, you were there, I believe. Yes. Any question, anyone?
So one question is, did you apply only for Clat, or did you keep backup colleges also? So importance of backup colleges cannot be overemphasized. There's no surety that you will clear Clat, so you'll definitely need to have backup colleges. I applied for every college. I applied for Army Institute of Law Mohali. I applied for Christ University. I applied to Syllabus. I even took an admission in Jindal. Because I wasn't sure if I'd get into Clat, if I'd get into NLS or not, or for any NLU for that matter. So I had taken admission into Jindal, but then I got a refund from there. So you need to keep backup colleges as well. Backup colleges best would be Christ University, and then Symbiosis, Pune, Noida. Yeah. Next question.
Yes, Manya.
Bhaiya, I'll be appearing for CLAT 2023, but as you all know that it has been preponed. So it's preponed like 5 months ago, but yet there is like a lot of pressure now that prepone ho gaya paper. So how do you deal with that pressure if you were in my situation? Also, I would also like to ask you, aapke board paper cancel ho gaya, but in case our papers happen, how do we have to devote our time? Like, because बोर्ड सपोज कहीं पे एडमिशन नहीं हुआ तो डीयू में तो एडमिशन मिलना हो सकता है ना, तो बोर्ड के लिए हाउ देन डू वी हैव टू मैनेज इट?
No, so considering DU as your backup, so are you thinking of not doing law pura entirely, because DU doesn't offer law?
No, I mean, if there's really low rank, so obviously we'll prefer a good college only. We'll not go for a college which has, low recognition. So don't get me in that sense that मेरे को नहीं करना. But I mean to ask you that वो आप mindset कैसे shift करोगे कि आपको board की preparation ही करनी है और CLAT की करनी है on the other hand?
One thing Kashish mentioned me in direct message now is that DU doesn't accept board results. Is the program implemented, or is it still in the pipeline? Last year they planned on introducing some entrance exam, no? Yeah, so
CUTET is what they planned, but अभी इसका कोई वो नहीं आया confirmation.
They are messaging me that it's already implemented, officially declared.
Yes.
So if it's officially declared, then it's very good for you, because competitive exams test you on similar lines only. It would include English, GK, or critical reasoning and all. So even if it's not there, if you have, like, you need to make a trade-off here, Manya, to be very honest. If you believe that law is your only preferred choice of career, then you need to start believing it, that you will get into a good national university. So yeah, you're in 11th right now, so you should stop thinking about board exams. Just focus on Clat for now. Even if board exams happen, it will happen later, only in next year, in February or March. So but your exam is in December this year, so that won't matter. You can easily prepare for the board exams after the Clat exam happens this year in December. You'll still have the month of January, because boards won't start in January only. So
Bhaiya, another question that I have
yeah.
is ki, after asking a lot of people about which magazine should I really go for current affairs, I chose Drishti ki book. But when I got the book, like monthly book, it is very difficult to read all those 100 pages, and that too सब में बहुत ही ज़्यादा in-depth knowledge है. So how do I have to shortlist कि कौन से topics करने या नहीं, because हर एक चीज sort of important है, but then how do I have to pick कि ये करना है, यही आ सकता है और बाकी को छोड़ दो.
Yeah, so I never suggested that you should read through an entire magazine. What I suggested was you need to identify a relevant topic. So even if you go through a magazine, there will be a lot of irrelevant topics for you, especially in Drishti IAS, because it's more UPSC centric and judiciary centric. So it will contain, if it has 100 topics, there will be only 10 to 15 topics that would be relevant for you. So that relevance, that identifying the relevance will come by practice. And you need to stop, like, it won't ask you very complex topics. It will ask you rather elementary topics. The Clat will ask a very elementary topic. So this practice of this, like, what should I say here? I'd say you should stop going through the Drishti IAS magazine entirely. You should try my strategy of
Let me
identifying the
suggest the
topic.
students on this. Look, ClatPrep already provides you the list of important topics to be covered from Clat's point of view. And that is all obviously done by subject experts. So what they say you from their experience needs to be inculcated with, Drishti IAS. Drishti IAS totally cannot be of full relevance to you because it is actually prepared on the lines of UPSC, which as Clat students, you cannot go through entirely. So look at the
Yes.
important list of topics, browse those topics, and then you can go through those topics as well, because उससे क्या होगा, आपके comprehensive idea हो जाएगा उस particular topic का, covering this IAS and the GK mantra which is provided to you right from ClatPrep. तो ये चीज करो आप.
Yeah,
Okay, sir.
Elaborating on what sir just said, that when you consider a mock test that ClatPrep provides, so it will ask you only relevant topics. So if there are 7 topics asked in a Clat mock, so first go through that 7 topics. And what examiners do usually, that there can be a lot of questions that could be made out of that particular topic, but because we have to make only 5 questions, a lot of research still needs to be done on that topic, and you just can't rely that on Israel Palestine. I've scored 5 out of 5 in the Clat mock, and I'm done with Israel Palestine, because such topics are very detailed and large, that a Clat mock can never test you entirely on one topic. So the same point comes in, that treat your mocks as an additional material, and start like identifying the relevant topic from your mock test, and then researching it using the Drishti IAS or the compendiums provided.
Yeah, that is what has been recommended to all of you every time. Whatever mocks you go through, all the passages, just look at the topics which is being covered there. That topic is basically a piece of article which is of maximum 300 to 400 words. But वो पूरा topic उसमें नहीं आया है. Now that is where your research starts. And that topics can be covered from various sources, like the GK notes which are being provided to you in the classes, the GK mantra, the Drishti IAS which he is saying, yes, it is a good material obviously to go through, but then go for the relevant topics. आप अगर कोई भी हेवाया material पढ़ने लग जाओगे, then it will become cumbersome for you. It's not possible to go through each and every topic of GK, right? करंट अफेयर्स सिर्फ और सिर्फ क्लैट पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू से देखो, और बेस्ट सोर्स उसका होता है मॉक के पैसेजेस, राइट? वहां से आपको टॉपिक का आइडिया मिल जाता है.
भैया, लास्ट क्वेश्चन आई हैव इज
मान्या इट इज अभी बहुत भी बहुत हैं, सो आप चैट बॉक्स में लिखो.
लास्ट क्वेश्चन.
चलो फटाफट पूछो।
भैया 2 hours से ज्यादा नहीं पढ़ा जाता एक बारी में, so how do I have to manage consistency in one day?
पढ़ना ही क्यों है 2 घंटे से ज्यादा एक बारी में? Study for 2 hours, give yourself half an hour break, then start again. Do what do you want? What do you like doing? Do you watch web series? Do you play something? Do you listen to music? What do you do, Manya?
I do all of what you've mentioned, but like बहुत लोग बोलते हैं ना कि 10 घंटे एक दिन में पढ़ा, so getting intimidated by that is why I asked you that question.
Manya, this is my personal experience. I never studied for more than 6 to 7 hours a day. This is not IIT or a NEET prep that you need to devote your entire time towards this only. You need to relax. You need to relax. This ClatPrep में यही बात है ना. If your mind is not relaxed, you cannot focus. You cannot comprehend what the passage is all about. If your mind is not relaxed, your reading speed will drop. You'll not be able to focus. You'll not be able to concentrate. So do not study for more than. तुमने 2 घंटे भी ज़्यादा बोला. Have you heard of the Pomodoro Technique, Manya? So I'll tell you what the Pomodoro Technique is. This is what I followed. That there are various apps on Play Store. Just type Pomodoro timer. So what it will do is provide a 25-minute timer. Then there will be a short break of 5 minutes. Then again a timer, short break, timer, and then a long break of 10-15 minutes. Then again this timer. So when the timer is in front of you, you get this feeling that the clock is ticking and I need to keep going. I need to focus. So if this Pomodoro technique, even while in college, I'm using this technique to prepare for my exams. So this technique is very useful. When you have the short break, you can listen to music, you can go around, you can eat something, whatever you want to do. So this is a really great technique that helps you focus and keep your concentration on a single thing. Everybody should try this Pomodoro technique. Yeah.
Look, like he said, that it is not an IIT or NEET exam that you have to mug up things and then you have to write it on the paper. It is purely aptitude based, which checks your reading skills and comprehension skills, not more than that. लीगल के कुछ फैक्ट्स आपको याद होने चाहिए, जीके ऑब्वियसली आपको कुछ पॉइंट्स इंपॉर्टेंट इवेंट्स याद होने चाहिए जो आपको क्लास में बताया जाता है कि ये टॉपिक्स है जिसके ऊपर आपको फोकस करना है. So apart from that, go for reading, go for detailed reading so that you are able to comprehend what the informations are given, right? At the same time, like you said, 6 to 7 hours of study in a day is more than enough. But then I would recommend 2 hours at a stretch, because your Clat paper is of 2 hours. What happens is that if you keep on taking a break in between time and again, it is quite possible that on the day of Clat exam या फिर mock में जैसा आप लोग बोलते हो कि after 1 hour I get exhausted या I lose focus on the part, मेरा concentration level कम हो जाता है, silly mistakes होने लग जाते हैं. ये इसलिए होता है because you are not stretching yourself for 2 hours at a stretch. आप पढ़ो एक साथ 2 घंटे पढ़ो, but then take a break of half an hour or 1 hour, then again give 2 hours. So that is what you can do, because it will help you eventually in the Clat exam or writing mocks. ठीक है? Chalo, okay.
Yes, sir. Yeah. Elaborating on this, acclimatizing ourselves to the Clat, like sitting for 2 hours, is very important. So when the news came that we need to wear gloves, we need to wear masks. So when this news came last year that we need to wear gloves and mask while appearing for the exam, I started wearing masks and gloves and switching off the fan when I used to appear for mocks. So जिस दिन मैं एग्जाम सेंटर में गया, I did not feel any difference कि मैं एग्जाम सेंटर में हूँ या मैं अपने घर पे मॉक दे रहा हूँ, because I used to get this, like I got the feeling that I'm at my home only because I was well practiced towards the art of giving mock. क्योंकि मैंने आखिरी 45 days में every day I used to sit for 2 hours giving the mock from 2 to 4. तो मुझे आदत थी कि हाँ मैंने आज भी एग्जाम देना है, so I took it as just another mock. कोई difference नहीं था. So you need to practice the art of giving mock, and this practice can be attained only by sitting for 2 hours at a stretch every day. Or every day तो नहीं बोलूंगा, मतलब 3 mocks a week or 2 mocks a week for Clat 22 aspirants are good. So that's all. Yeah. Last how many months GK is important? So if I say that last 6 months GK is important, that would be a very vague question, because हमें भी यही बोला था सबने कि last 6 months कर लो. But what it asked was June 2020. India-China dispute. So in July 2021, it asked a question pertaining to June 2020. So ऐसा नहीं है कि सिर्फ last 6 months की करोगे तो last 6 months की करो, last के बाकी महीने नहीं आएंगे. Some news are like that it is always in topic. So I recently read a news that the ship that got stuck in Suez Canal last year was going back to its destination from where it came. So Egypt declared a state of emergency for that Suez Canal, for that ship. So even if the topic was of past of 2021, it's still relevant for 2022 क्योंकि अभी उसमें एक recent development हुई है. So same is the case with Indo-China, Indo-Pakistan, Indo-Bangladesh, India, Sri Lanka, Israel, Palestine, Middle East, Ukraine, Russia, Ukraine. So इसमें I agree that these are topics of past. The Indo-Pakistan dispute but goes back to 1947, but still it is relevant because उसमें recent developments हुई है, उसमें further developments हुई है. So if I say you last 6 months is important, it doesn't exclude the previous last 12 months from coming into the picture, because CLAT is very, if anything, is very unpredictable. So you need to keep your best foot forward. So to be on the safer side, I'll say that you need to be prepared from October 2021 till October से May तक के तुम्हें अच्छे से आने चाहिए. And if you can cover even August and September also.
We will list out the important events which are taking place, the current developments which have taken place in any of the past related to past events. What is important is that जो आपने current developments देखे हैं उससे related holistically आपको सब कुछ देखना है कि what was covered in the past, उससे related events क्या थे, because that may continue from 2020, that may continue from 2019, in fact it may continue from 1990, कुछ भी हो सकता है, but आपको past से relate करते हुए current events को अपने ध्यान में रखना है. That is what JK asked you, है ना? So that is important. Yes, Khushi, you may ask.
Am I audible to you, Bhaiya?
Yeah.
Actually, I'm just pursuing my 12th right now, and I'm just stuck between the thought like I'm just having commerce in 12th and have to focus on CLAT also. So the syllabus is not linked. So how to prepare for that, because I'm having a lot of homework, tuitions and all. So how to prepare efficiently for CLAT as well as for commerce?
Okay, so I'm not really experienced in this matter because I never really gave time to my board exams because it got cancelled ultimately. So I knew from the very beginning that it will get cancelled. I should not focus on it a lot. So, but what you can do is you can spend 5 days, like 5 days of the week on CLAT preparation exclusively, and then you can cover it up on weekends by studying for your board exams. This would be a right approach, and this was followed by a lot of my peers during my journey. So this is what you can do. You need to go to the tuitions, I know, every day, but still if you focus more on CLAT, like devoting 80% of your time towards CLAT, it would be good. You can devote the rest of your 20% of study time towards your board exams as well. Yeah.
You asked the wrong question to the wrong guy. He is one of that privileged one that he did not have to appear for boards last year.
Yeah.
So anyways.
Okay, I just want to ask one more question. I just want to ask, like, there is a social science part in the current affairs. So does it play a role in CLAT?
Social science, I don't think the CLAT will never ask you controversial questions like BJP Congress में क्या हुआ, India Pakistan में ये क्या हुआ, politics के related. So I don't think social science will play a really important role unless there are a lot of facts included, facts present in social science also, which I think are not. So you should focus more on current developments and the material provided by the mock tests and the coaching. So वैसे भी CLAT consortium का जो syllabus है उसमें से कुछ आता तो है नहीं, तो stop thinking about that.
Okay, thanks.
Next question. Some people are asking me for my PPTs. Should I share?
There is no problem, but you may share it with us, then we will share it with the students, not an issue.
Yes, sir.
So the students are actually feeling motivated and more confident now. They are appreciating you because the session was quite helpful and quite insightful to them. They have been able to find out various solutions to the various problems they are facing while preparing. So that was great. So
sir, one last thing I will want to take. So one question is, I'm facing difficulty to attempt all the questions in mocks, and how do I manage to attempt? So like I said that there are two approaches, attempt centric and accuracy centric. If you want to go for the attempt centric, so one thing plays a really important role here is your reading speed. If you are not able to read quickly, if you're not able to comprehend quickly, you'll not be able to attempt quickly. So for like only you have 4 months left. So I believe that if you are if you know that your problem lies in the low reading speed, next 3 weeks, minimum next 3 weeks, you should exclusively focus on developing your reading speed. And this reading speed can be developed by like giving mocks. Mock is the best way to do anything. If there is a problem, just give mocks. Mocks is the panacea to all the problems. Next thing would be reading newspapers and editorials. So if you know that your problem lies in the low reading speed, just do these 2 things for your next 3 weeks, and then let me know if there's an increment in your marks.
To improve on the reading speed, we have already recommended you may take up one novel, let's say, and then start reading it half an hour before you go to bed. Then challenge yourself, how many pages did you read today? Challenge, over a week's time it should increase, then again over a week's time it should increase. So if it does, eventually what will happen, that you will gain on your speed, at the same time your focus would increase. Once your focus gets increased, your comprehension would increase. देखो, everything is interlinked. तो ये चीज आपको डेवलप करना पड़ेगा, but it is not that someone says you and then you listen to it. You have to implement it. That is more important. And believe me, there are many students who started doing this and they have come up to me again and they are saying that yes, they have improved on their reading speed as well as their comprehension. So start doing it, everyone, right? Reading speed plays an important role in CLAT exam. But yeah, one thing is sure, everyone has to attempt at least 130 questions in CLAT. अगर आप number of attempts 130 नहीं रखोगे तो मान लो, because I don't believe that you can maintain 100% or 95% accuracy. Accuracy plays a role, but then minimum, if let's say I'm able to maintain 80-85% accuracy as well, but then 130 attempts has to be there, then only your score will be good. You will land in a safe zone where you can attain good college, good NLU, which you are preparing for, right?
Yeah, sir.
Everyone.
If you are not attempting a minimum of 125 questions, तुम NLS की रेस से पहली बार हो गए. Race enter करने से पहले you are out of the race to enter NLS. If you are not attempting 125, तो अगर CLAT में तुमने attempt करना है 125, start attempting 125 in your mocks. क्योंकि एकदम से कोई जादू नहीं हो जाएगा CLAT एग्जाम के टाइम में कि you'll get a jump from 100 to 125. Start attempting it. Start pushing your limits. Transcending your limits is very important in CLAT. Push your limits when you are reading. Even if you are left with 3 minutes and one passage, just go skim through the passage and try answering all the questions. एक ना एक तो ठीक होएगा, एक तो negative marking तो नहीं होगी at least. So even if you get 4 wrong, 1 correct, there would be no negative marking. So just go for it.
Yes, you need to maintain, you need to develop that confidence that you are ready to face any question. It is not that you know all the answer, that is why you are ready to face. Develop that confidence that you are ready to face any question, right? Anything else? No, reading a novel for 4 months left? No, it is not at all a wastage of time. It will eventually help you in reading skills, improving your reading skills. ऐसा कुछ भी नहीं है, बिल्कुल पढ़ो आप. मैंने इसलिए ये बोला कि सोने से आधे घंटे पहले पढ़ो. When you go to bed, half an hour उसको दो. Not taking out that precious time of your study time, right? चलो.
Yes,
Thank you, Anish. It was really an insightful one. I believe that the students of ClatPrep must have got an insight and they have learned a lot from this session. They would be actually implementing some of the points, in fact, very points which you said, which you guided them, and your experience would play a very huge role. In fact, बहुत अच्छा role play करेगा इनके confidence को develop करने के लिए, है ना? Thank you so much, Anish. Thank you for your precious time.
Yeah. Okay.
All right, so we'll end the session here. Thank you so much, everyone.
Yes, sir.
Hopefully, you people would implement what he suggested, and probably all of you will come out of that anxiety level that only 4 months are left. Say that still 4 months are left. So let's start now.
You still have 120 days. 120 days. Even if you
start
spend
attempting mocks.
20 days on one topic, exclusively on one section, then only you'll have 20 days to revise everything. So stop thinking that only 4 months are left. Think that 4 months, 4 महीने पड़े, I'll have to do it. You have to do it because you know you have to do it. So stop.
4 महीने पढ़े हैं, लेकिन 4 महीने पढ़ने हैं. We have to start now, right?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. Sir. Yeah. Thank you so much, Anish. We'll end the session here. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Sure. Thank you so much for having me here.
Yeah. Bye bye.